Hello, everyone. My name is Katie, and welcome to the Greenland Quilter channel. I hope everybody has been having a great weekend, despite the nasty weather that most of the world is experiencing in the northern hemisphere right now. Um, I can't speak for what's going on in Sean's area. He can, but we are, y'all, this is unbelievable. We are at 45 degrees Fahrenheit here in South Greenland. There is no snow. There is no ice, but there is this nasty little wind that's coming from the southeast. And so it's because it's from the south, our temperatures are way above normal. And the recent event that I've read that there's a scientist that are following what's going on because we have what's caused all of this weather to be weird, where the United States is frigid in areas, and so is some parts of Northern Europe. And it's because we have a warm air mass in the stratosphere that's sitting right above Greenland, and it caused the polar vortex to smack it, divide in half and dump its Arctic air, because the polar vortex has a job to do. It's to keep all the extreme cold temperatures in the northern hem way up around the North Pole. And when it breaks down, it releases it. And so wherever it gets broke down at is where someone's getting more lower temperatures than what they're used to. So you guys are freezing your little tushes off, and we're not. But I was going somewhere with this. They were saying that it could raise Arctic temperatures currently up to 50 more degrees. Do you know what that means? That means we could be feeling summertime temperatures like in the 50s or 60s here. That's just crazy. And
I know
it's just nuts. Me and Nikolai were looking at Google Earth yesterday, and we were looking at the area where we visited the ice cap this past summer, because we have pictures of when their ice had a curtain of ice sitting across the water in that area, and we were looking, and it has receded even more since we saw it last year.
right.
So it's and I guess Google Earth has updated its satellite for Greenland, and I'm shocked by what I'm seeing. So you guys who are cold, stay warm, stay out of the weather if you can, and let me stay on here. I'm sorry, I got on a rant. I'm
You're
just waiting for
fine.
people. I'm waiting for people to drift in, and I thought this was a good way to take up a little, you know, time.
Yeah, no,
Um, Yep. So Sean's here with me, and as you know, me and Sean have been doing two different collabs together, but the second collab didn't start till like the latter part of this year. So, but we've been doing Stitch It since not Stitch It, sorry, Star Climber, since we started Star Climber Sew together back in February of this year. But then what was it, September or October when we started to Stitch It? Because we were going to do it in June, and things just didn't pan out for
I want to say
Stitch.
October because I think we're doing alternating months. So I
Yeah,
think it would have
now
been
we're
October
alternating.
and now we're
Yeah.
December. So I want to say October.
Yeah, so we managed to pull enough time in for the Stitch It, because that's the Stitch It challenge that we're doing together. So today we're doing Stitch It. Then January we're going to do Star Climber, and February it is our plan to close up Star Climber in February, where he'll show you what he's done with all of his, and I'll show you what I've done with all of mine. I um I am just so I'm happy, because I'm happy the way this has turned out, because Sean was not a paper piecer,
No.
and he just wasn't interested. And this has really opened up a new door for him, and he'll tell you how he's loving it. Um, we are just having a really good time. I feel like this collaboration has been a really positive thing between him and me, because we've been on board with it, and we've been having fun with it, and we've been able to get creative. And Sean and I think Sean's probably using a lot of his scraps like I'm doing, and
Hmm.
um, there's so much potential for doing Stitch It and Star Climber. You could just do whatever you want with either one of them and be as creative as you want, or do what I did with my Stitch It, and I'll explain in a bit about my Stitch It. So anyway, Sean, tell them what you're going to work on. Show them your
Oh,
next or your Stitch It, and tell us about what you're thinking about all of this.
okay. So I have pulled out my stitches. I got the Allison Glass collection. So it's got all these beautiful different fabrics on here, and I was just playing last night and I just pulled different colors together. I'm gonna make them into different blocks. Hopefully, I remember what I put together. I was supposed to take photos, but I didn't. So, what I came up with last night, what I'm going to make today, could be two entirely different things, and that's going to be just fine and dandy. But as for the star climber that Katie was talking about a little earlier, it really has helped a lot with paper piecing. And the thing that I like about it is like I am a traditional piecer. My go-to is traditional piecing, but this has kind of opened the door to teaching me FPP and foundation paper piecing because there's a lot of beautiful patterns out there that use paper piecing. This is the one of the books that I used with the papers inside. Show you an example real quick. So it's super easy to do. And it kind of trains you on how to transition from traditional to foundation paper piecing. And as Katie was saying earlier too, you can do so much with it. Like I actually took some of the stars and made it into the quilt behind me that you can see hanging there. And I submitted that into the state fair and got second place. So, you can really do anything with this. And if you're looking for a way to learn foundation paper piecing and you've been doing traditional for a long time, I highly recommend these. Get the papers. They're about $15 now at Fat Quarter Shop. I don't know if you can buy them elsewhere, but that's they're well worth it. They're well worth the investment because it kind of all you're doing is you're cutting out rectangles and triangles and you're piecing it like you would like to me it was kind of like you were doing it very much like a traditional thing, just that you were using paper as well. So it was kind of like a really way to ease yourself into FPP, and then now I can tackle more complex projects like this monster right here. I don't know that I
Oh,
would have been. I
show
don't
me.
know. Yeah, I don't know that I would have been confident enough to try this without having to do the other thing first. So yeah, if you're looking to learn FPP, that's my go-to. I say spend the money, the $15 or whatever on one of them, or spend 30 and buy both and do a mixture. But if you just want to do the stars, do the stars. And it's just an easy way to get in. So
Yeah, and the beauty of it is because these paper these the star climbers from Fat Quarter Shop, um, so they own the company that does all the half square triangle paper, all of the papers. They've over time added to their foundation of papers, and one of the things is like with the star climber and the different ones that Kimberly's team has been actually creating themselves, they're putting in cutting instructions, and you just
yes,
need, and all you need is your scraps. And if you follow the directions on what size you cut your strips, all of it just comes into place. And before you know it, you're sitting in front of your machine, you already got your pieces cut, and you're just
yeah.
sewing and sewing. You're not having to think about, oh my gosh, I have to have this triangle turn this way or that block turn that way. You're just sewing, and
Yeah,
that's what makes it fantastic.
and it really has been. Yeah, that's been these have been blocks that I've come home after work at the office because I always like to do easy sewing. A lot of times if I had a mentally draining day at work, and I never thought that I would do an FPP project as easy sewing or really,
Yeah,
but
it's
these have been. They really have. Like um I did this reluctantly with Katie. She suggested this and she was really gung ho about it, and I was like, I don't know, but I won one of her gift cards in her raffle last year, I think it was. It was a $25 gift card, and it was just enough to buy both of these books at that time. The prices have increased since, unfortunately. And I was like, you know what? She gave me the gift card. She really wants to do this. This will cover the cost. Why not? What's the worst that's going to happen? And it's been such a wonderful
you blew
thing.
up in my face. That's what.
So there you go. Melissa's asking me, am I using any Kona Sheen in the Dragon? Yes, I am. If you'll see a little later on in today's episode that I used a tiny piece in there. I'm using the Sheen along with some batiks in the horns. Let me see if I can find a good example of where I've used it more, because that one is not a good example. Hang on a second.
And while you're doing that, I'm going to say hi to everybody in the chat.
Yeah, sure.
We have Misty who got here first in the chat. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Andrea. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Mary G. Hello, Christina. How are you? Hello,
I know, I
Highways.
just saw her a few hours ago.
Yeah, and I got Highways in here. It's always a joy to see him drop in because I pay attention to a lot of his they're sort of like travel. He does a lot of videos of Manchester areas and stuff, and I'm really loving how he's sharing that with us. So he does have a channel and he posted this link. So if you like that style of just go over and support him and help his channel grow too. Hello, Pat Strawhouse. Welcome, welcome. Let me see who else is coming here. Hi, Melissa. It's good to see you in here. Sean, yeah, she asked the question. And then we have Molly. Welcome. I think this is the first time I've seen you in here. And okay, let me spotlight Sean again so
Just for a
he can show
moment.
you what he's talking about. There we go.
Yeah. So you can see the sheen right here, this pointy part over
Oh,
here. I'll get it right there in a minute. And I'm also using batik. So yeah, I am using sheen. Once I get down to the fire part, I have some colors here, but my local quilt shop has a bunch more in stock. There's more colors now. So I'll be going back to get more of those in the future. So yes, sorry to cut you off there, but I just figured I'd answer that question before I got distracted and forgot all
okay.
about it.
You see what I got, Sean? I pulled it out.
Oh, very good.
Now I have questions though. How do I know what size to cut these? Because I'm used to having instructions on how to cut something.
Freezer paper.
I don't have freezer paper.
Oh, well, then I'm out of ideas. Paper.
Look, my stitch, or this is what my legit kit looks like. It was gifted to me when I hit 1,000 with my channel.
I know. I think that's fantastic. I would use if you have copy paper floating around that you can use. In a way, just because what I do, and I just threw them away. Let me just grab them real quick. I've been using freezer paper because it's translucent and I can see through it. But you could use regular copy paper as well, Katie. What I do is I trace out each piece from the pattern itself.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Oh, and
Right.
then you cut the pieces?
Yes.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. So much easier for me. Definitely.
Okay,
Yeah. So if you
that
don't
makes
have,
total sense. So I could just use scrap paper for templates,
yeah, for
more or
sure.
less.
The
Yeah.
advantage of if you can get your hands on freezer paper for whatever, it's good because what you do is you cut this out and then you iron it onto the fabric and then you cut it out and you peel it straight off. It doesn't leave any residue or anything. But if you can't get your hands on freezer paper, which I totally understand, regular paper would do the same job. You could just cut it out and then make sure you just remember you leave yourself the room for the seam allowance.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about what I'm doing. Um, so I decided when I'm using the Stitch It kit called that's for Callie and Co. Fabric line, and I bought two kits. Um, Now, will I use all of them for this particular part? Probably not, but that doesn't mean I can't use them for. I have other Stitch It kits that I have because when I first bought my first Stitch It kit, it was a small one because I didn't know what was involved in it. So I don't have enough to make a full quilt, or even I might have enough to make a mini because I've done a lot of blocks with it already. I don't know. I might intermix them. Who knows what I'm going to do? You never know with me. The scrappier, the better.
Yep.
So anyway, what I decided to do is I'm like, what can I do where, because with a stitch it, we don't have a pattern. We're designing on our own. And I got to thinking about, well, Fat Quarter Shop is doing a sew along right now for their Jolly Bar 5 sampler quilt along. And I happen to have the Jolly Bar book 5 book. Now, if you're a visual learner, you will have no trouble doing what I'm doing because all you need to have, I'm not using any of the measurements that came in the book, none. But I am using my Stitch It kit. And the Stitch It kit, I already know what size the small, the medium, and the large triangles are, along with the squares that come in the box. So basically, the small triangles, if you were actually cutting these half triangles, you would cut a square that's 3 7/8. And then each of the bigger triangles, the size goes up. Then you have 3.5-inch squares that comes in the kit, and you have 3.5 by 6.5 inch rectangles that come in the box. So in the pattern that Kimberly is doing, this is what the pattern looks like by the time it's finished. I will have one that looks like this, only it's going to be in Stitch It kit size. So some of these blocks right here, you see right here, they're supposed to be 16.5 inches big, or the size if you're doing it based on Fat Quarter Shop's cutting instruction. But because I'm using smaller half square triangles and such, my blocks are going to be more around the 12.5 inch size, which is okay by me. The only one I don't know what the finished size is going to be yet is this big one right in the middle. So I've started laying out the pieces for this particular one, and you're going to see me work on it today. But after I finish this one, if we get both of them done within a short amount of time. But this is what it'll look like. I'm sure that Kimberly will be saying, how to put this together. I don't know. But I thought it would be cool to take my Stitch It kit to make her pattern, because it's free, except that you have to have the book if you plan on sewing that way. If you're going to use a Stitch It kit, you really don't need the book either. But anyway, so today I'm going to work on the one that's called Refractions block. And so it looks like this. And I don't feel like I'm cheating by doing this. I'm just reinventing her pattern using a Stitch It kit.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's always, you're just taking inspiration from it, is how I see it.
Can't hear you, Sean.
Oh, I took my headset off for taking my jumper off because it was getting a bit warm.
So anyway, that's my take on the Stitch It kit that I'm doing.
Oh yeah, Christina's saying too, can you find parchment paper or baking paper to trace on regular there? Do you have that available to you? Because that would be similar.
Yeah, we do have parchment paper, actually. I
Yeah,
actually have some in my cabinet.
yeah, I think the parchment paper would work better there. I don't know. Yeah, the freezer papers, the advantage of that is that you can iron it onto the fabric. I don't think you can with the parchment paper, but it would be a lot thinner and easier to trace through than regular copy paper. So that's a fantastic suggestion there from
Yeah,
Christina. I
that
didn't.
is. Yeah, I agree. I also I have 2 boxes that's going to be coming to me soon from Syracuse. I think the first one's getting ready to be mailed out, and I ordered vellum paper so I can have a backup for tracing things like this, because you
Yeah,
can see through vellum paper, and you can also, I think I even might be able to sew through it if I want to,
right.
and not have such because I don't know, have you noticed, I know you may not ever buy it, but the paper that you can use for found, you can actually buy printable uh this I've had a long time.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
um
I've never used it.
yeah, I bought this like, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago. So it was really cheap back then. This has gone up, my God, it's gone
Yeah,
up. It's like $20 for 100 pieces. And I'm like,
yeah,
what? You know? And you can tell I've had it a while because right on the top part of this paper, you can see it's got a bit of a yellowing going on.
right. Mine,
Anyway, what do you think about this, Sean? My little creating Stitch It out of someone else's pattern.
I think it's a great idea, especially like, and I think it's something that a lot of people can take inspiration from because, like, yeah, if you buy one of these Stitch It kits, yeah, you really have to come up with your own pattern on your own. And, for some of us, it's easy. I just kind of throw stuff. It's kind of like playing with Lego blocks. I just kind of throw stuff together and I've come up with stuff. And I did it last year with the 12 Days of Stitch Its that I purchased as an advent. And so, I found it fairly easy, but not everybody has that same skill set. Not everybody has that spatial thinking. And I think you need to be a spatial thinker, or I think it's what it's called, in order to do that successfully. So, um, I originally had tried seeing if I could replicate a cotton cuts clue, but
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have enough of the different pieces for that to
Yeah,
happen. So
yeah.
yeah, I think drawing inspiration from a pattern of some description, one that you've made before, or one like you've picked up, or a cotton cuts clue, or something like that's great. And I think that's something that, um, you should at least look at if
Yeah,
you buy one of these
especially if
Stitch It kits.
yeah, especially if you're a visual learner, because we know once you have most of us over time learn the mechanics of how blocks work. It took me a while to have an understanding of how they work, but now I've doing that 1,000 block thing I've been doing has really helped my skill set.
Oh, I'm
Helped
sure. Yeah.
It has. It's helped me understand the mechanics of why things have to be put the certain way that they have to be put in there. I'm gained a lot of understanding of the mechanics itself of the blocks. Just because I'm a visual learner doesn't mean I always understand why they did it this way or why you have to put it this way for it to work. And now when I look at a block, I'm like, I can take any size triangle, and so can you. This whole block here is nothing but half square triangles. All
Right.
you have to do is decide what size half square triangle you want to use, look at the picture, and go with it. That's all you gotta do. Now, I'm not putting, I want ever just a disclaimer here. I am not putting in the description box that this is my creation design. It's not. I'm using someone else's Fat Quarter Shop's basic design. I just modified it to fit what I'm using my half square or my stitch it kit for, because my squares are smaller than what they're calling for in the book. That's the advantage of having a book, because you know what size they're telling you to cut. And so I'm not going to take any credit for this. This is not my pattern. This
Yeah.
is Fat Quarter Shop's. I'm just changing it to fit my needs, which anyone in here can do. You can change it however you want to do it. You can make it however you want to do it, and be as creative as you want to be with it. Or you
Oh,
can be as, what do you call it, being, just doing it the way they tell you to do it.
yeah. Oh, hang on. What am I doing here?
One
So I
thing I've learned on this Stitch It this go around is these pictures that this picture. So every time they add a new block, you get this, and this is just, it's a vague description. That's why you have to have the book if you're going to do it by the book. If you're not paying attention, you're going to assume that this is a square here in the middle, because it doesn't show that they're half square triangles. And if
I
you see the picture, you can't tell that there's half square triangles there.
oh, so yeah, see, I probably would have just done the economy block in the middle and been in trouble.
Exactly. And I did do that. I used my stitcher to do an economy block, and I'm like, uh-oh.
Well,
That didn't work because the block was totally off.
I can guarantee if you had done what was the one that just finished, not Under the Sea, Flyway.
Byway, yeah.
If you did the Flyway puzzle mystery quilt and you saw that in the middle, then you would have like, yeah, okay, it's just another economy block. We've done 715 of these in the last 10 months.
Yeah. So, sometimes assumptions can really mess you up.
Yes, yes, you've got to read the instructions, or at least read the pictures like I do.
Yep.
So, Melissa was asking, where do we get these Stitch It kits from? You get them from Cotton Cuts. I put the link in the chat
Oh, you did?
for
Okay.
you.
Thank you. I was going to go do that, but if you already done, I don't have to.
I've already done it. Yeah, and they have different. I think each month. I think they're still doing it each month where they just
They
bring out
are.
different ones. Yeah.
They
So
have stuff that stays on there all the time, I guess, because they have an extraordinary amount of them of a particular colorway. But on the 15th, they dump new colorways.
yeah,
And you wait till the day after the 15th. The old saying, you snooze, you lose. You go and look at it, because sometimes they'll wait a couple days before the 15th to start showing what they're going to put out there for you to buy on the 15th. And you're like, oh, I like that one. But then you wait a couple days to go back and get it. Guess what? It's sold out. So,
yeah. But yeah, give them a try and see what you think, and go from there.
And if you do buy some Stitch It kits, make sure you mention me and Sean in there.
Yeah.
I saw this with Katie and Sean.
There you go. That sounds good. All right, what are we doing here?
I'm supposed to be sewing.
I am. I took a picture of this block, so this one I'll be fine on. The rest of them I forgot, and now I'm going to be kicking myself because
Uh-oh.
oh,
Yep, it'll come to you though, probably.
That or it'll just be it's going to be a design opportunity. It'll just be something else.
Melissa says she has a stitch it kit coming with extra borders. Oh, that's really cool. I didn't know we could order borders for it.
No, I didn't know that either, but
I'll
now,
have to go look at that now.
yeah. So there you go. So I think you and I talked about this a little before, like the other day, but you have got the new puzzle mystery quilt ordered, correct?
Did
And did
um
you just finally decide on a colorway? Because I think you're doing what I'm doing, which is having the viewers choose.
so the viewers voted on Lullaby. It got, in fact, the other one only got like 3% of the vote, and the rest of it was all Lullaby. So everybody's wanting me to do the, because I haven't done a purple in a long while. So
Yeah, it's been a while for you.
it has, and this has some turquoise color in it, so it's going to be fun. So here's what I did: I ordered the kit, but I also ordered two. You're going to be like, why? But you never know with me. I ordered two Stitch It kits to go with it. Yes, I did. I also ordered two Oops kits to go with it. And but I didn't order extra borders because this girl really does not like doing borders at all. I
Hmm.
like it's funny. I love doing the binding, but to me the mechanics of the binding is a lot different than doing borders. If you don't have your borders cut at the right length, you you can end up with this wave thing going on, which is very annoying. So I didn't order anything, but I do think what I would like to do with the Stitch It kit, since I ordered two of them, is maybe I can use the Stitch It kit to go outside of the border itself.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, because it's just a bunch of half square triangles.
Yeah. There was I did a bear paw pattern several years ago. I still need to quilt that thing. One of these days I will. And one of its borders was all the house square triangles all the way around. It looked fantastic. And then I think I did the same thing with Daria's quilt. It was a hexagon pinwheel, and I
Mm-hmm.
had all these scraps left over, like from when I was cutting out the hexagons. And I was like, these are too pretty to throw away. So I sewed those together, um, and made a border of those. So yeah, doing half square. I think they end up being like half square rectangles. They were. Heaven help me, I actually pulled that off, being scrappy. So yeah, no, sometimes doing those sort of things do make such a beautiful effect. So it's a lot of work, because it's a lot of little pieces, but if you're ever inclined to do that, definitely give it a shot, and I think you'll be happy with the results.
Andrea says, I'm surprised Sean is even awake after the late night sewing with Tammy last night. Yeah,
Ah,
you know what? I saw both of you on there. I even said hi, and then my husband made me go to bed last night.
yeah, I'll take another nap later. So, what you probably don't know, I told Katie this earlier too, is that I went to bed at like 1 after being live with because I was live with Tammy till about 11:30. Then I recorded my podcast. So that took me till about 12. I didn't edit that till this morning. Then I went to bed at like 12:30, 1 o'clock. I was up at 4:30 because I had to go to the bus station and pick up the kids because they went to New York yesterday. And then I was editing the video. I fell asleep till 7:15. So yeah, it's been a day, but I'm awake and functional. I'll probably pass out at like 1 o'clock this afternoon, but that's okay.
Yeah, have a nice little lunch and then go take a nap.
Yeah.
I remember when I was, a teenager and we were in the church, my mother would cook these wonderful Sunday afternoon dinners. And because we'd go to church Sunday school in the morning and come back home from church, eat my mama's yummy dinner, and then we would all pass out for the afternoon until we had to go to church that night. So it became a thing.
Yeah. So no, I mean that sounds good. It looks like Andrea wants to try Lullaby as well. It looks like it's a very pretty colorway.
It
Um,
is. It's soft and I think, and because it's the batik, so it should go together really well. You're not going to have to worry too much, I don't think, about it.
yeah, and the thing I like about that one in particular is I've done the purple ones in the past. I think my first one as an ambassador was not Lullaby. What was it called? Purple Mist, I think it was. Was it Purple Mist? And then I'm currently doing the purple petites in the current one that we're doing, Under the Sea. I can never remember the names of these um things. But the thing I like about the Lullaby is that it has a nice variety of different colors. Like it's purplish, but it's got blues. It also has a light purple, like a lavender. Oh, it was lavender. That's the first one it was called. Then I did purple mist, and yeah, so this will be the third purple one that I've done. And originally I was like, I don't know, like if I want to do Lullaby again because it'd be like two purples in a row. But if that's the one that the viewers pick for me, that's fine. I told Katie I probably wouldn't do it because I don't want to
Because you're
compete with
going to do
her.
a small and I'm doing a large.
Yeah, I think I'm doing a small. I've always asked. I did a large once, and it was fun, but I like the smalls because it's lap size and I can quilt it a whole lot easier. So,
Yeah.
yeah, more than likely, unless I'll probably have to tell Paula that I'd like a small again, because usually what they do with the ambassadors is you do smalls for a few times and then they upgrade you to the large. But I'm quite content doing the smalls, to be honest. So. But it depends on what you want. If you want one for it, like the large is great for like if you want it for like a full size queen size bed. I think if you do a border kit on a large, you can do a queen bed successfully. I'm gonna try. I like the large one that I did. I have the borders, and I'm thinking about doing something to make it fit a king size bed. But that's kind of like a big project because then I got to quilt. Then I got to quilt it somehow, or save up the money and pay someone to do it. But so that's kind of like we'll get to it eventually thing. But yeah, the small ones, what is it, 45 by 60, I think it is. It's a
Something
nice
like
it's a nice lap size quilt. Like I'm 6'5", but I can get underneath one of those, and it could be a little bit, at the borders especially, it would be, not easier. But yeah, you can get a small if you want a lap size quilt and do it that way, and you'd be quite successful even if you are, on the taller side.
that. Andrea, right at the end of our live tonight, I will take us over to Concut's page and let's see where they are on if anything's sold out because they did the early bird on Thursday for those of us who are already sewers, and then Friday they opened it up to the rest of everybody else. So
Yeah.
let's see if they sold out on that one. She says she gets her check on Friday. Hopefully,
I
it
think
won't be
she'll
sold
I, I think she'll be all right. I've never seen the
out.
purple boutique sell out.
Yeah, me
Um,
neither.
so I mean, obviously I can't promise you anything because I don't have access to Cotton Cut's inventory. But I've just based on past experiences, I don't think that's going to be one that's going to sell out. And if they do, they could probably get hands on more of that stuff. So I think you should be all right.
I think so too. I hope I didn't just turn that around wrong. No, I didn't. I'm fine.
But you may have seen in the chat too, and I hope that's okay that I did it, Katie, as I put my link in for people to vote for
Yeah, it's
mine.
fine. No problem at all. I love sharing other channels. So go ahead. The more the
Yes.
merrier.
So if you haven't voted for my colorway yet, please do so. I'm going to close off voting tonight so I can give Cotton Cuts my pick tomorrow. Like I'm going to send them like my top five based on the votes that people put in. I know they have already allocated some of the colorways, so there's a chance that I might not get like the top pick that you'll have or the sec. They try and do the top three. I mean, I'll take whatever they give me. I really, at the end of the day, I will happily make whatever they send me. I get a free kit, so I'm not gonna say no to anything. Plus, sometimes I've been given colorways that I wouldn't have picked for myself, and I've ended up loving them. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's why I have people pick them for me. I haven't picked my own in like three or four. And have you seen, Katie, now that you can actually have a mystery
I
colorway?
did. That's an interesting concept. What do you think about that?
Well, I've been pushing for that for the last two or three colorways. I could like offer a mystery, let people do what I'm doing. And it's really neat because like I went into it to see how it works, and basically you click, add the cart, and then it says, is there any colorways you do not want? And then it asks you a couple other questions so they can kind of match you up with what they think would be good for you. So yeah, if you want to be like me and crazy and make it a real mystery, they now sell that option, which I'm ecstatic about. I like to think that I have a little bit of a hand in that, but it said by popular
Oh
demand. So I
my
think that,
God. Oh, that's cool.
yeah, it says by popular demand. So I think that must mean it was more than just me. Um,
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Hi, Lisa. Welcome, welcome. It's good to see you in the live today. And
yes,
hello, Inez. It's either Inez or Inez. I'm not sure which. Hi there. She says, if all else fails, read the instructions. And then
yes,
Miss says they only sold one outright now, Pink Moon. Which one is Pink Moon? Is
it's
that
like
a
the dusty pink. What's it called? It's the
The Tula one was the only one I really did not like this go around. So I will be happy with any of the others. I just like Lullaby the most. You know, the other one that I liked a lot that I asked people to vote on, and which only got 3% of the vote was I think it's called Fairy Tale or something like that.
See, I like that one. I really
That
do.
one
I
is
like
so
Fairy
bright,
Tale.
happy. And if I had extra money, I would jump on that one too because it is so pretty. And it would
Yeah.
make a great quilt for one of my grandkids
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because it's just bright and happy and yummy and it would be a lot of fun to give to one of the grands.
Yeah. I liked the Tula one this time around. Like sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I like that it's basically a black and white. Um,
Yeah.
I think that'd be fun to do, but I'm almost certain someone else has already claimed that one, so that's fine. Not a big problem. Plus, no one's voted for that one yet anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
So I have a problem with the Rita link. I'll check into it. Thanks for telling me, Mary G. I must have did something wrong setting her link up for her
Oh,
channel. Great. I need to remember to check these things to make sure they work. Sean, I think you need the orange boutiques this time. That one's pretty too, but the reason I didn't choose that one as for you guys to vote on is because I already have a kit from Cotton Cuts from the M50. I ended up with two of them by accident. So it's the same colorway. So I'm like, why do I need another one when I have plenty of that over there, you know?
yeah, no, the Orange Boutiques is definitely one of my faves. So definitely go over and vote for it if that's one that you want me to do. If you haven't already done so, and if you've already voted once, go vote again. I think I won't know. I've only had 22 people vote so far. I'd like to get some more votes. So if you're really passionate about one of them, go vote a second time. Just don't tell me about it. But that one is fun. Yeah, the Glimmer. I think that'd be a lot of fun too. And again, I think they're doing a really good job of even if these ones that are like predominantly warm or predominantly purple, they're doing more contrast in it because I find the more contrast it's in a colorway, the better. And it looks like they've done a really good job this go around with having more contrast because it makes the final design pop more um, in in uh, rather than I cannot word today. See, this is what happens when you have 3.5 hours sleep. Yeah, then it all be in the same basic color. So I'm happy to see that they've done a nice variety on just about every colorway that I'm looking at here, that they've got a nice variety of colors and contrast between the different colors. So yeah, if Glimmer ends up on my doorstep, I would not be at all upset. I don't think there's really any that I don't like. Um, if you had to pick one that you'd say is your least favorite, Katie, what would you say?
I would need to go look because there's a
Okay.
couple of mine. Don't hang on a minute. Let me go look real quick while you're and I just Andy's in here, a true blue. Hello, hello. It's good to see you, my friend. And let me go look at the pictures real quick, Sean.
Okay, Misty was asking how I vote. I just put a link in the chat there for you, so that way you can go vote. Molly says she just voted. Well, thank you for that. Yeah, I appreciate that. Um, Rita
Which
says she doesn't think they're selling out as fast as usual. I tend to agree. She says she feels like they've had too many mystery quilts back to back. They do them twice a year. I don't think it's that. I think they've actually ordered enough fabric. I think they're getting better at figuring out how much they need and how much people are going to buy. So I think it's
I
more a
also
case.
think if that I mean I'll ask Kim where she is on it. Either A, like Sean says, they're more better prepared for this go around because I missed out on Under the Sea because there was only one colorway that was speaking to me. Out of all those from Under the Sea, only one of them. was I even interested in doing. And um, I was an early bird sign up, and we had time change happen, and when it does, it really screws with my head. So I was 30 minutes late. It started at 7 a.m. like it always did, but I didn't get on there till like 30 minutes after it started, and the one that I wanted, it was gone.
Yeah.
Just it was the boutique one, and it was sold out, and I was so disappointed. And I went back and I was looking at all the other ones, and it just wasn't one I wanted to mess with. Not
Yeah.
even for not even for a grandkid. It just none of it was talking to me. So I just like, well, I'll just miss out. The one that I don't care for the most, I can't believe Pink Moon sold out like it did though. Wow, that one's not even a that wouldn't have even been on my wheelhouse. Which one do I not like? It was probably the Pink Moon, and
Mm-hmm.
I probably wouldn't have done the Illusion one either. The rest of them, they're doable. The one that really piqued my interest is, what do y'all guys think about that golden hour one? That would make a really nice fall quilt.
Yeah, I keep looking at that one, the golden hour, and part of me says yay, some of me says no, but I'm thinking like that would be a really good one, like
Yeah,
for like oh, I'm thinking of Andy, very deserty, you know, landscape, or I think it'd be really good for a male. I think it's very masculine
yeah,
colors scheme as well.
definitely. It definitely
If
is
that
work.
ends up if it ends up on my doorstep, I think I'd end up liking it because I wasn't so sure about Tombstone when it was sent to me a few times ago. So yeah, I think that one has the potential to do look really, really nice. You know,
Yeah,
sometimes you see these things and you just don't realize what it's going to look like because you're seeing them here in the cotton cuts wheel, but when you get the pieces, they're in squares, rectangles, and triangles, so they look different. But I think that would look nice. I'm not a huge fan of Pink Moon either, but that's not my aesthetic. But those like pastel pink, gray ones. I've seen those sort of things come up before in these puzzle mystery quilts, and they always sell out quickly. So I'm not at all surprised that that one's the first one to go.
oh, what in the world? So
So there
this is
you go.
okay.
Misty says the worst is the cafe one. Or calf or how I always mispronounce that one. Cave. Okay, I've got it. Which one is that again? I can't remember.
One of them were capes, I think. Let me look because I
That's the Wonderment. Yeah. That one's
yeah.
interesting. I know Beth from Goody Goods was announced. She announced it on Instagram yesterday. I think she's going to be the ambassador for that one. So, um, I think that one will look nice. I think they're all going to look nice at the end of the day. Just depends on what your
Yeah, what you're interested in doing actually.
yeah.
But they're
Andy
doing,
says one of these times I'll choose a rainbow, but not this time. Hey, that's why I started having someone else pick for me because I am definitely one of those folks that when you go to the restaurant, I look at the menu every time to find something new. I just order the same thing I always order. Like I'm just so predictable. So
hi Sheila, it's good to see you in here today. Thank you for
yes,
coming. Yeah, I feel like this colorways this go around. There's enough different variations that it may talk to just about everybody who's
I think
thinking.
so. I think they've done a, I give full credit to the buyer, the fabric buyer or the fabric selector, which is probably Kim. Whoever did this, 'cause they've done a really, really good job. I mean, they always do a good job. Like, there's usually at least a couple there that I like. There's usually one or two that I'm not super fond of. Although last time there was one that I begged them not to send me, and once I saw the reveal of that one, though, I loved it. So I mean, if they had sent it to me, it wouldn't have been the worst thing in the world. But yeah, no, this time around, I totally agree with you there, Katie. I think they really did put something out there for just about everybody.
Oh, I forgot to mention. Oh, the other thing I added onto my kit is this year, for the first time in 10 years of waiting for this to happen, we can order pillowcase kits to go with our um whole kit.
I saw that.
And you know who, Diane Sophison, which is one of my, I told you earlier I'll be sewing with friends today. She's one of the PMQ friends that I made friends with that we sew together. And a lot of times because we attend the third Thursday of the month to sew with cotton cuts, And a lot of times Kim will make an appearance in there, and she'll say, "Is there anything y'all would like to tell me about? Me? Would you like to see cotton cuts too?" And so Diane's been after her about uh, offering pillowcase kits because you can store your finished quilt inside the pillowcase.
See, I never would
And
have thought of that, but that's a wonderful idea.
yeah, and if you use the colorway, one of the part of the colorway to make your pillowcase, then when you store your quilt, it say wherever you're going to put it at, when you look at that pillowcase, you're going to know it's that colorway quilt. You won't have to go through and rifle through all your quilts trying to find the one you're after. So
Yeah.
this is the first year they're doing it, and I ordered two. So I'm yeah.
No, I think it's a really good idea. So,
Hello to K Money. What's your first name, please? If you don't mind sharing.
all right, let's see.
True. Andy says I shared my thoughts on the color selection. My reaction to the Field of Dreamers color. I hadn't even thought about doing a. I should write a blog about that.
Yeah, there you go. That'd be fun. We'll do a short video on it.
Yeah. Uh, Hi Regina. Welcome to the chat. It's good to see
Yes.
you. And I used to know around Tuit's first name too. I'm really bad with people's names if I don't see them often enough. And hello, good morning, around Tuit.
Yeah, I'm terrible with names too, but I've actually done pretty well here on YouTube. I tend to remember a lot more people's names here than I do anywhere else. So,
Yeah.
that's
For
that's
some
always a
reason
good
her
thing.
name escapes me because maybe I don't see her often enough.
Yeah.
Who's in the chat? Diane, good morning. You're up early. She says, hooray for a pillowcase.
She must
This is
have
who I
heard.
was talking about, Diane Sophison. She's the one that's been after Kim about pillowcases.
Well, see, we both got our wishes because I wanted the option for people to be able to do the mystery colorway just like I do, and that appeared this time around, and Diane got her wish too. So yeah, definitely. Yeah, if you have a suggestion for them,
We're the reason the Oops kit came around. We one day when we were doing that third Thursday, we were talking to Kim, and I said, Kim, you know what? Because I'm an international sewer, and a lot of times, it will take weeks to get a replacement part if you goof something up in a PMQ. I said, you should come up with a kit where we can buy backup fabric so that if we do mess up something, we can make that because it's simple enough to make a triangle if you have the fabric.
yeah,
And she she thought about that, and so the first year she offered it, it was a big hit. Just about everybody that bought a kit bought an oops kit too. And even if you don't use your oops kit in the end because you didn't make a mistake, you could take that oops kit and you can make some pieces, piece it together in whatever way you want and stick it on the back of the quilt. Or you can save it and do something else interesting with it.
yeah.
And Diane said we also pushed for labels. So, yep, that happened also.
Yeah. So what we're saying is if you have an idea for cotton cuts, let them know. Some of
Yep.
them may, will they adopt every one of our ideas? Absolutely not. I mean, at the end of the day, they're a business that has to make business sense for them, but they will listen to you. So if you have an idea, let them know. And you just never know. Like it may come into fruition. So,
That's what I
which
like about Kim. Kim listens to it and
she
then
does.
they
She
make,
really does.
yeah, she's a really great businesswoman, but she also listens to people who buy from her. And if she can make it happen, they make it happen. And if they can't for whatever reason, then um it won't happen. So with the pillowcase, I think this will be a test this year to see if it really works the way everybody's hoping it will.
Yeah. Well, I think I've had a few people in the past suggest too, or say that with the if they don't use the oops kits, they turn those into pillowcases. Like they just put them together.
Is
I
that
like the oops kits because I know there was one time a few puzzle mystery quilt goes, I always count all the pieces before I start, and I know I had all the pieces because I counted it all. But then when I went to put the piece to get put the thing together, I was missing one or two triangles.
mm-hmm.
I know I didn't sew them together. I think they must have fallen off the table, or Finley ate them, or something like that. And I was like, I could contact Cotton Cuts and they would happily send me a couple more pieces 'cause that's just how they are. But I was like, I don't want to wait. So I just got out my little oops kit and I cut out two triangles and I kept on going. So they are handy to have. You might not need them very often, but if you are in the middle of sewing, you lose a piece or anything else like that, if you don't want to wait, you can just cut it out and away you go.
I think it's been a great thing for us, for sure, for sure.
Oh yeah, there's been a couple of times I've had to use them, and it's never been Cotton Cut's fault. I will say, will they make a mistake once in a while? Yes, there was one. I think there was one. I think one of my first kits. I opened up Clue 5 and there was like twice as many pieces in there as there was meant to be. I'm like, okay, what happened here? And then I realized what happened when I opened Clue 6. There was like next to nothing in there. They put Clues 5 and 6 together by accident. I think someone was just having a moment. We're all human. We all make mistakes.
Yep.
I wasn't missing anything. It was just not in the right, they just put it in a bag too early. But it was easy enough to realize what happened once you open up the next bag. So.
And I love how when they do, make a mistake, they own it.
Oh yeah, they're just like, okay, no problem, we'll get it sorted. But yeah, I'm impatient. I don't want to wait, because if you give the post office half a chance, sometimes they want to send it on the scenic journey too. So it's even in the US, you might have to wait, a few days if you're lucky, and if it's unlucky, it might be a bit more. So yeah, I'd rather just keep on going. The Ups kit's not that expensive. I think what is it, 12? I know they used to be 10. I think they went up just a little bit recently.
Hmm. Our kit went up. The full kit went up to $319,
Yeah.
but that's because of tariffs.
Well, it's that plus fabric's gotten a lot more expensive too. Like I'm surprised they're not, that prices haven't gone up more. I mean, I think Kim and the crew have done a good job at trying to, limit the increases as much as they physically
What
can.
what she what she said was when things get better, where tariffs go back down again and stuff, they will go back down to lowering the prices. But for right now, they've had to, increase what they do so that they could still make a little bit of a profit.
Oh, they
You
have,
know,
yeah, because I mean,
and
she's
we're
got a,
us as consumers are the ones that's having to, eat the cost.
yeah. So yeah, we'll make it work. As I said, I really expected it to go up more. So I
She's
think
been
they've
able
done a,
to keep it. Yeah, I'm really impressed with how she's handling it. Have you seen the price of Aurifil thread? It's already at $19 for the large, and in January it's going to go up again.
I don't use a whole lot of it. I think the only time I've really used Aurifil is when I've bought kits from John at Art East and when Kim supplied it as part of our ambassador kits. My machine, it'll tolerate Aurifil, but it's not its favorite. So um, that's not going to affect me as much as I don't think I'm going to. I mean, I'll use up what I have, but I don't think I'm going to go buy any more because it's just not something that my machine enjoys as much as the other stuff.
Well, it's definitely going to affect me because it's the only thread I actually use. And I'm down to I just ran out of my last spool of Dove for the large. So now
Yeah.
that big cone that I got on sale from, either got it on sale from Missouri Star or from Fat Quarter Shop for $42, I think I paid for it. And when I
Mhm.
went to look to see how much it is for the big cone, it's $69 right now.
Yeah, I remember you saying, I think you were talking about that on one of your lives like Thursday or Friday.
So I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do about this situation because I may just have to suck it up and buy the big cone and hope that the big cone will last me an entire year.
Yeah. Andrea says she ordered the Oops kit for Under the Sea. Hopefully, I won't need it, but thought it'd be a cool idea to save all the Oops kits from the PMQs and make a quilt with my own design from them. Yes, that's kind of what I have planned too, because I have them from like all 7 or 8 that I've done, and my wife Amanda, she comes with the best ideas. She told me that I should like make a block or something out of each puzzle mystery quilt that I have out of the different Oops kits, and I was like, that's a really good idea. So. I haven't got around to starting that yet. I mean, that was an idea that was passed over to me like 6 months ago. But yeah, definitely make a quilt out of them, like the different ones. Whether you use a old clue or make your own design. I think that'd be a really good idea.
You know what, Sean? We could take all of our OOS kits and use the Star Climber and make a colorful star out of all of those oops kits we have.
Yeah, maybe we could do something together. Yeah,
That would
let's
be
think.
fun.
Yeah, I don't know that I want to do the Star Climber again necessarily because I'm running out of papers. Plus, I want to move on to something else. But yeah, maybe we could do a project together where we use the old oops kits and make something together.
Yeah, we should think
Yeah.
about that. Maybe
Okay.
we could put our heads together and come up with some kind of plan of what we could use our past oops kits for.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, you and I will talk about that. But I think that sounds like a good idea because you probably have, I don't know, like
I
15
have
of
a
them.
lot.
And I have quite a few too. I think well, I've got them for every kit. I've only used a little bit, and most of them I have two because just of how they send the stuff out to me, I usually end up with two oops kits. So
Yeah, there was some of them I have two of, and I think there's one where I bought four. Remember when they were $10? So
yeah,
when they were $10, I think with two or three of those colorways, or the kits in a row, spring and fall, um, I would order four,
yeah.
because do something with four packages of fat apes. I gotta make sure I'm not. Oh, I'm getting distracted.
Oh, you're fine. Oh, it's 9 o'clock already. Time's flying.
So we started at 8.
Hey,
Wow,
yeah,
hour in now. Wow.
yeah, halfway there. Okay.
But I figured since I'm going to be sewing with my friends this afternoon, I can get some of this stuff that I'm still behind on caught up too.
Yeah, Andy says it might take her a while because she's only got a couple, but that sounds good. Yeah, but I think that might be a good project for us to do together.
Yeah, and
Um,
show what you can do with their oops kits if you end up not using them. That's a great idea.
yeah, Molly was saying the pillowcase. I think that yeah, that's a good idea. So that I've heard folks say that in the past, and I thought it was a good idea. And I think that's kind of what I mentioned to Amanda, and she was like, "Oh, you should do like a quilt with all the different ones." And I was like, "Oh, you know what? That's a really good idea." She always comes up with really good ideas for me. Yeah, because she's a really good knitter, and so she has that creative mind as well. I like taking her to the fabric store with me because she'll find stuff that I overlook. But then I also save money if I leave her at home, so it's like a double-edged sword. All right, so this is my first block that I made today.
Oh, it looks good, Sean.
I know I'm really happy with that one. So,
Yeah, I've been talking too much.
oh, you're fine. Good morning, Shirley. I saw you pop in a little while ago. Um,
Time to cut.
Andrea says, Under the Sea was my first PMQ, but I'm sure it will not be the last since cutting fabric is the part of quilting I hate the most. Yeah, that's the beauty. That's one of the things that I always talk about and that a lot of people talk about is not having to cut the fabric. I don't mind cutting fabric. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do these things without liking at least tolerating cutting fabric, but it is nice not have, once a month I can come home, I can pick up my little package, I open it up and I can just get sewing and not have to worry about doing anything significant. It's like we were talking about earlier where you just want something simple to sew, and this definitely fits the bill for that.
This block is going to be very interesting.
All right, let's see. Chris says they love the colors. Andrea says, awesome. Thank you so much. What is everybody else working on this bright and early Sunday morning?
Yeah, inquiring minds want to know. All right, let me.
Okay.
Hello, Chris. Good to see you. And Susan drifted in here without me seeing her come in. Hi, Susan.
Yeah, she's up early again. I mean, I think she was in Tammy's live with me last night.
Yeah, there was some that was in my live last night that when I got into Tammy's, I was like, well, and Tammy and William were on at the same time last night, which was, I didn't realize that they were both going on at the same time last night, which had me a little confused. I'm like, wait, Tammy
Oh,
usually goes,
okay.
for some strange reason, it's usually Tammy comes on first and then William kind of drifts in later, like at 1:50 my time. which is 1:50 a.m. I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the wrong direction. Don't be turning that wrong. Um, but last night it was the other way around. William went started his, I think, a half an hour earlier or something.
Yeah, well, it was also a different day. I think Tammy normally goes live on a Sunday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, and then
Yeah.
Tuesday at 8, and then Friday at whatever. And this was actually supposed to be a Friday night thing, but we did it a day late. So that might have been where it was a little different.
Yeah.
But I'm a hard person to catch a hold of, so
Well, you have a full-time job, plus you have two young people in your house, and
yeah, I just try to make it work the best I can. I try and hang out with as many people as I can. I have to say no a lot, unfortunately, but
well,
I
you're
do what
Mr. Popular, whether you think you are or not. We all want to sew with you.
I Yeah, I usually try not to do weeknights because yeah, if you think I'm a hot mess this morning, yeah, after a day at work, I am usually just utterly spent.
Hello, Don. It's good to see you. And then Andrea says, I am still in bed. So working on chatting so far this morning. I was up at 4:30 this morning waiting for my last canner load to cool down so that I could take the jars out of the canner.
There you go.
I was sleeping for a change. My husband is like, no argument. You're going to bed.
Okay, so she was up until 4:30. Okay, so she was rolling into bed as I was rolling out.
Yeah, she's been canning food.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been an adventure. 3 lives in the space of 24 hours. I will not be going live again this weekend. This is it.
This is
This is
it.
it. I didn't realize I had Tammy and you booked like 10 hours apart.
I didn't. I thought you had that weekend. Well, that's why I sent you a message like, dude, we can
Yeah, well, I
always.
booked it. I booked with you like a month ago, and I was talking to
Yeah,
Tammy
you
like a week or
did.
so ago. So I was like, I'm not gonna bow out on Katie. Like that's just
Yeah,
not right.
we had it set up way in advance.
Yeah, I was like, no, I'm not doing that to her. Like I'll sleep at some point. It'll be fine.
I had two people bail on me this week for
Yeah,
something that
I wasn't making it number three. I was like, I'm the one that made this mess. I'll work through it.
but I did offer. I mean,
You gave me an out, and I'm like, no, I committed to
they're
this.
like, no, we're going to do this. I'm like, okay, you're the one that's going to be tired.
I know, but as I said, you make a commitment and I try to stick at it, um, as welcome. Nifty says, good morning. A crochet is welcome. I am making a hat using the jasmine stitch. Absolutely, yes. We love crochets. We love knitters, cross stitches. We love them all. Katie actually has some guests on every so often that
Yep,
knit
it'll be
and
this
crochet, right?
Tuesday. Yep, this Tuesday at
Yeah,
4:30 Eastern Standard Time. It'll be me, Andy from Crafty Witch 232,
yeah.
uh, Amanda from Scraptastic Crocheter, and Shonda from Under the Needle Quilting and Crafts.
Yeah, so no, please hang out. Please subscribe to Katie. I don't do any crochet. Um, I am purely a quilter. My wife is a knitter. She's tried crochet. She doesn't seem to get, for whatever reason, it just doesn't connect with her as well as knitting does. A couple of our exchange students that we've had have been crocheters. Ali from last year, Rolento from 2 years ago, and I think Misha did some crochet as well, or knitting, or both. So
Hello,
yeah, yeah,
Donnell. It's good to see you in the live today.
yeah, so no, yeah, if you're any sort of a crafter or you just like listening to us talk, you all are welcome. So yes, no,
Hi,
thank you.
Tasha. Hello, hello, and hello, Nifty. I don't know. Welcome, welcome. I think it's the first time I've seen you in here.
Shelley hasn't been to bed yet, couldn't sleep. Glad to be able to join in. There is intelligent life out there. Well, thank you for that. You're talking about Katie, I believe. I don't know that I qualify as intelligent life form right this minute, but that's okay.
It's it feels
I'm making it work.
yeah. it feels really good for Nikolai to be home right now.
Oh
I,
yeah.
I made a comment yesterday. We're in day number 3 with this freaking wind event, and it starts to grind on my nerves because the house shakes and the windows shake, and it's just, and he is like, it's okay, don't worry about it.
Yep. It'll work itself out. Nifty says it's their first time here. I'd love to chat to her. You're in a good place for this. So yeah,
Yeah, thank you for coming and watching. I appreciate you being here. Welcome to our little community.
yeah. And a lot of the folks here like to chat too in the live chat, and it helps us out as well because the more people chat and like the videos and stuff, the more interaction it is. So yeah, please hang out with us. We'd love to have you. It's always good to see new viewers pop in as along with our long time established viewers.
Yeah.
We love
Uh,
you all.
we really appreciate every last one of you. I mean,
Oh,
y'all,
definitely.
and it's because of you that my channel has exploded like it has.
I know. Every time I look at your channel, it's like you've got another 100 viewers, another 200. It's like you are doing such an awesome job with that, Katie. Like,
I've had to
yeah,
work hard. I feel like I've worked hard, but at the same time, this wouldn't happen if it weren't for everyone who comes and watches our videos and sits in the chat talking to help. All of this help. Every little thing that a viewer does helps our channel grow.
yeah,
I never set a goal to hit 10,000. That was never, I never to even think about it made my stomach twist.
yeah. I told you get there. I had faith.
Yeah, you did.
Like, no, 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 no. I'm like, Katie.
Yeah, but you've been my biggest supporter, you and Nikolai, when it comes to helping me when I'm trying to say no, it's not gonna happen. And it's like, yep, it's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm. Nope, just keep at it. So,
Yeah.
Donnelly says she doesn't sew. I train horses, but yet I love Katie and people great in chat. Well, thank you for that.
Hi, Donnelly. Yeah, me and Donnelly have things in common. We both are horse riders, and she has a rescue ranch where they rescue thoroughbreds off the racetrack, and
Okay.
so she has that same love for horses that I do, and so whenever I talk about racing and stuff like that I used to do with my horse, and the other day I shared all of my pictures. So I have a bunch of pictures of the 4 horses I had, along with me racing, and all these pictures I have are big 8 by 10 pictures.
Yeah.
I did. I knew I was going to be giving up my horses, um, and so I talked to a photographer that had been photographing racing our horses in the arena, and I approached her and I said, because I had bought a couple photos from her that she had got of me in shotgun, because they were really great shots of me coming around the barrel with my head, with me looking at the next barrel like you're supposed to, and he
Yeah.
was bending around the barrel at the same time. It was a really great picture, and because sometimes it looks like he's a cat. He would drop really low around the barrel, and that's, when you get a picture like that, that's a rare picture. And I approached her. I said, I'm going to be giving up my horses soon because I'm moving to Greenland. What do you do? Photo shoots with people with their horses. She said, yes. So we scheduled a photo shoot, and she came out and took pictures with me with my horses, not only out of the saddle, but in the saddle with all my horses, because I needed, memory pictures.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, because yeah, moving to a new country is it's a big thing. You give up a lot to do that.
Yeah, I gave up a lot of things, gardening. I had a pony. I know you're not going to know what I'm talking about, but I had a ponytail palm, which is not actually a palm. It's in the Araceae family, and I had dragged that thing around with me for 38 years. When I first got it, it was this big around. When I gave it to a friend, it was in a 35-gallon pot, and it was about 6 foot tall.
Oh, nice.
If it had been in its natural habitat, it would have been the size of a Volkswagen by then.
Right. Yeah, I've never been super good at gardening, but I have managed to. Got a I got a Norfolk pine a few years back. Actually, I've had it now for like probably 6 or 7 years now, and it's still alive. It hangs out in the back room here,
In a pot
and
or in the ground?
no, it's in a pot because it would die outside here. Once it hits a
Wood.
frost, it will kill it.
Yep.
So
Donna Lee says, Katie girl, respect to you as a barrel runner. Oh, thanks. I really loved it. It just I if I had I could have postponed moving to finish out the season because I was sitting in first place. I would have won a saddle. It's the first time in all the time I was racing, I finally got to a position where I was in first place and knew I was going to win a saddle. But love was more important.
yeah, yep,
Because for two
definitely.
years in a row, I was sitting in second place, and then suddenly that third year in a row, it was like, oh, and everybody was like, "Look at you, you're in first place." And I thought I'd never see that happen because it took me a while to get. But Shotgun was like this miracle horse. It was like he he helped me get over fear of the chute because the chute was where I had fear going on. Chute scared the crap out of me because you go into the chute is where the chute is the entrance to the arena.
Oh,
And when you
okay.
horse into the chute before you cut him loose, you're gathering your horse up, but you're also in your head you're trying to gather up your source because when you cut your horse loose, you better have your butt in a saddle and you go with the horse because the horse is going
Hmm.
to do the job. And one thing I learned with him is you don't hold him back. When you get in the chute, you have like 2 seconds to be ready, and he's ready to go. And if you hold him back, he gives you a little bit of static about it. It's like, come on, let me go. I got a job to do.
Yep.
And he really helped me with that.
So there you go. Yeah, no, I never got into horses. Um, my best friend's mom was she had horses and did dressage, which I never
Okay.
quite understood. But
Dressage is dance. Dressage is dancing on a horse. The horse is
yeah, I mean, I understood the basics. 'Cause I got drugged to one or two of those events, and I was like, this is the most boring thing on earth. But that's okay. Everyone likes different things. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that look at me quilt and go, that must be the most boring thing on earth too. So, whatever makes you happy. But it wasn't for me.
it's similar to there's Western sport has something called Western pleasure, and and you also have reining. Reining's the other one. There's two different styles actually for Western. You got Western pleasure, and you have reining. And the reining one, the horse is the horse does things like the sliding stop, and the deeper the sliding stop is, the more points you get for that. But with the Western pleasure, you got your horse, you're riding this horse with his head practically down. And I find that disturbing sometimes because I'm like, a horse was never meant to have his head that low walking around.
Yeah,
But, you know, to each their own on certain kinds of sports. I just couldn't understand it because it looked like the horse was just too submissive.
yeah. I think I've seen that like on TV. I
Yeah,
haven't
their
seen that
heads
in
is
person.
really low, really low. And if you look at a horse in the wild, you don't see them walking around with their head almost touching, or their nose so low that they can sniff the ground, except when they're
Yeah,
grazing.
that's true. All right.
In our area, besides Western barrel racing and stuff, because we did pole bending, we did the arena race, and we did something called the Texas Weave. But there was also a local club, and I didn't know about it till right before I was leaving for Greenland. It was an actual horse, and you were shooting on your horse. It was a, a type of sport that they started doing, and the guns that they had were cap guns.
Yes, I saw that at the state fair a couple of years
Yeah.
ago. I'll have to go figure out which video it is, but it was one of my podcasts. I was walking back to the car and I saw some, people doing that. So I took a short video of that. So I know exactly what you're talking about. And that was neat to see. Yeah, it's cap gun, so it's not a really loud noise. So it
Yeah, it
doesn't,
makes it pop. Yeah.
yeah, it's just a pop. And then the horses, I'm sure, are used to it. It's not a super loud noise, which is nice.
And your horse is in motion while you're shooting at these targets.
Yeah,
And some of them are there's certain parts of it where you're it's like an obstacle course kind of like, and certain parts of it you have to be your horse needs to be like in a canter or whatever while you're doing your thing, and
yeah,
it's a new sport that started up apparently, and it's kind of like the days of Annie Oakley kind of sport sort of,
yeah.
because you can shoot from a horse too.
It was interesting to watch. Just that I just kind of happened across it as I was walking back to the car. And I stood there for a while and watched it. I thought it was very interesting to see. So, okay, Shirley. Yeah, let me grab that. She's asking my wife Nitsa, I'm sure I'm subbed to her. Can you please share her channel? Not sure if I have notifications for a channel turned on. Yeah, I can definitely share the channel. She has not posted in a while, in probably a year. She's just at this moment in time, it's just not something that she has felt drawn to do.
Donnelly says, Katie, you were a winner every time the gate opened. Yep, because that meant you got out of the gate. And then Donnelly says, the shoot is where your horse amps up. Let's go. Yep. And then Marianne says, good morning from Rialto, California. Donnelly says, not a fan personally, but not me either. Does put pressure on the legs that bothers me, but I'm a jumper. So many not like us. My sister that lives in Spain, she has a warm blood horse and she was jumping with him. Um, and apparently they were doing pretty well. And it's funny because, all of us girls had been around horses most of our young life, and all of us as adults finally eventually ended up having our own horse again. Once you have that love, it's hard to just stop loving them. And so we have horses here in Greenland, and sometimes if I happen to be in the town where there is some, it's it's like heaven. The minute I get to smell them, it's like the horses have their own smell, and
Yeah.
it's like, oh my God, I've forgotten what they smell like. You know, it's just it just brings back so many memories when you catch that scent.
Oh yeah, the sense of smell I think is one of the most powerful ones that we have.
Yep.
So, so this is what I did, even though I've kind of goofed it up a little bit.
How did you goof it up? It looks
Uh,
good.
this should like these yellows should be here.
Oh, you have them backwards. I see. It
Yeah,
still looks good though.
I
Are
know.
you gonna
Like
fix it or are you gonna leave it?
I don't know. I think that might be I put it to the side right now, and we'll decide that later.
The colors are amazing on that kit, Sean.
Yeah, yeah. They came with I think 5 or 6 different colors. It had this light blue, this dark blue, and yellow, and this print
Yeah,
that
it
you can.
looks wonderful.
Yeah, those three came together really nicely, and then it also came with some um like this I don't know what color you call that, like a coral.
Yeah, it looks like a coral. Yeah.
Yeah, and then this orange. I'm not super fond of the coral. It's probably my least favorite one out of the whole collection, and there seems to be a lot of it, but I'm gonna make it work. And then there's like some reds and blacks and stuff too.
Or
So
who
yeah,
knows? Yeah.
so there you go.
Warm bloods are beautiful. Yes, they are. And then Donnelly says, just close your eyes, Katie. Like riding a bike, you never forget to smell it. Yeah.
Yep, so there you go.
Susan says, I can remember going to the Lippensonner Horse Show when I was in grade school. Absolutely amazing. Susan, did you know that Lippensonner horses were not born white? They're born black. And then over time, they turn that white gray color that they have.
Oh, okay.
That's something interesting that a lot of people don't know is that they're not born white.
Kind of sounds like, was it deer look different when they're younger versus when they're older?
Which one? Oh, deer.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
deer.
Deer, white-tailed deer's color changes as they get older.
Yeah, and emus are like that too. Like if you see a baby emu, which I'm sure a lot of you probably have not, since they're not native to America. Although you may have seen one in the zoo, so I can't say that you haven't. But yeah, that's where I saw the little baby emus. They have like all these little like white, long white stripes on them when they're
Hmm.
babies, and then they disappear when they get older too.
I noticed with the male, there I watch two different homesteaders. I watch Hidden Heights and I also watch Arms Family Homestead. And Arms Family Homestead has one, but Hidden Heights has a female and a male, and the male has this bright blue color on his neck during a certain time of the year. I don't know if it's a mating season time of the year that he gets that color,
Uh-huh.
but it's funny to watch the two males because the one that Daniel has is also a male. And when he's out there with his camera, it's like the emu stalking him behind him. And you can, every time Daniel would move the camera, the emu's head would move. And it's like, golly, he looks feisty.
Yeah, I didn't realize the males had that. I know which blue bloom you're talking about. Um, I didn't realize that was how you told the gender of it. But it's like that with parakeets or budgerigars. If you look at their nose, that if it's blue, it's a boy, and if it's like brown or gray, it's a girl.
You only see that color though if there's a female about. Daniel's doesn't have that blue color. Not that I
Oh,
see him
okay.
show up, but he did a DNA test on his to find out which sex it was.
Yeah.
Actually, so did Kevin with Hidden Heights. They both did DNA because they wanted to know if they had a female and a male, or if they had um. Oh, I think I did a boo boo. Hang on a minute. I need to check something. Oh no, I did. Oh, I sewed this on the wrong side. Sorry, guys. I had to check this. Katie, yes. Or Susan says, yes, Katie, my friend and I studied about them in reading a novel with a stolen Lipin's honor horse as a main feature in a story. Oh, I'll have to find out what story you're talking about.
Yeah.
And hi, Lee. She says, hi, everyone listening as I'm working on putting scattergrass on the field on the train layout. Cool.
Yeah, very nice. I know what he's talking about.
Nikolai and Andy from Crafty Witch 232 have a Lego challenge scheduled.
Oh, that's fun.
They're going to be putting a Christmas box together. It has a Santa sleigh with reindeer.
Okay, why am I missing something? Oh, there it is.
I knew I was going to get this turned around wrong. I always do this if I'm not paying close enough attention. Birds usually females have, yeah. Kevin's female is all white, but their feathers look so soft. They're like long and flowing because both of them are mature adults now.
Right.
But they got the emus because it's another way of protecting their herd from predators
Yeah.
because they can definitely destroy a predator.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to mess with an emu.
Oh, because sometimes when I watch those males follow those two men around, I'm like, man, they look like they want to eat them sometimes.
Yeah, I
Of
mean they
course,
usually
to. I mean, they're not aggressive. They don't seem the least bit aggressive. Every now and then, Daniel's emu, his name is I forget what his that one's got a name. I think it's Frank or something, some weird name. Um, every now and then he'll like try to grab Daniel's wedding ring off his finger.
yeah, that's about as much as
Fascinated with shiny objects.
yeah. I mean they're usually pretty docile, but I wouldn't want to upset one.
No, they tried to do hatch an ostrich egg, but it was an epic fail. So, but the emu one hatched, and so they were really happy that they got that egg hatched because Houston was the one doing the experiment to try to hatch one of the bigger bird eggs out.
Right.
because I've been watching them for, I want to say 6, maybe 7 years now. I started
Okay.
watching before he stopped being a highway patrol. And Houston was very young, about 6, maybe 5, 6 years old. And now Houston's my granddaughter. I think they're born in the same year as my oldest granddaughter, so they're both in early teenage years now. And you can hear Houston's voice has changed.
Oh yeah. Sorry. I was answering a comment there.
Wait, did something happen with your husband, Shirley? I know he's been having a lot of health problems. It's good to see her in here too, because I haven't seen
Yeah,
her for,
yeah. I mean, I've always liked Shirley and I hadn't seen her in a while, so it's good to see her again.
yeah, she's been dealing, her husband's been having to do dialysis and stuff. And I think being treated for cancer, I believe.
Okay.
And that has to be hard doing cancer treatment when your kidneys are not working.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now it's turned the right direction. I don't know why I turned that around like that. Me and half square triangles always get into trouble. Have you noticed that, Sean?
Here and there.
Yes, like, okay, we turned it wrong.
I goofed one of mine up earlier, so I had to pull up my very, very bestest friend, but that's okay.
Yep, I was using my seam ripper today too. Donnelly says, sorry for your hard times and prayers.
Yep, definitely.
She Shirley commented on I've been posting every day the countdown to the winter
Uh,
solstice on my community posts. So sharing how many hours of daylight we're down to now and how many
yeah,
hours of darkness. I've been doing that for the last, I don't know, 2 weeks now. So we're 12 days away from winter solstice as of today. And she
but
posted, she says, she showed me her sunrise and sunset hours. And I'm like, oh my goodness, she's right. They're right at the same time we are. So they must be sitting somewhere near that latitude north line that I sit on. Because our town sits on 60 degrees north.
in the bay window there should be some. Sorry, can you repeat that, Katie?
Well, I'm doing the countdown to winter solstice.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah, that's what it was. Sorry, I got distracted.
It's okay. And Shirley was pointing out that she's at about the same time frame for sunrise and sunset that we are right now. Because
Is
she
she the one that's in
Alaska.
Alaska, or is that my imagination?
She lives in Alaska, yes.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I know we had a couple of viewers from Alaska, and I couldn't remember if that Shirley was one of them or not. So
Yeah.
it's early over there. What is it? I think was it they're 4 hours behind us? Or are they in Pacific?
No, she's behind Pacific time zone. I can't remember how many hours behind, but sometimes it's hard for her to see my lives because by the time I have my live, she's like midday or something like that. I
Yeah.
think. I don't remember. I can look it up, see how many hours between us. But there's quite a bit of a distance or time change between us. If someone wants to interview me on his channel, and he lives in Maui, and I'm like, I don't know how we're going to be able to get on the same page with that one.
Yeah, because I think they're 5 or 6 hours behind us.
Yeah, there's quite a time change for Hawaii. Hello from Florida, says Donnelly. Hey, I'm probably going to be in Florida in March, Donnelly. So we should try hooking up while I'm there. And besides, I'm going to get with you about the saddle too. I'm finally going to come off my saddle. I'm going to sell it. It took me all this time to finally decide I want to do it. My decision, not someone pushing me to do it.
Yep, there you go.
These blocks are so pretty, Sean.
Sorry?
Look, these blocks are, look at the colors. Isn't that gorgeous?
Oh, it looks good.
Yeah, and then I got this one put together too. Look at that. They're coming together really nice. I just make sure that I put them together the way they need to be. Yeah. This block is going to be pretty.
I think so too.
It's going to be nice and happy.
That's good.
And I know it's like Katie's doing cotton and not batiks. What's wrong with this picture?
Well, you got to change stuff up once in a while.
Yeah, and I saw this Kelly and Co fabric line, and I'm like, I like this line. And I saw it because Jess from So Blessed by Jess,
Mm-hmm.
she did a quilt top using Kelly and Co. And when she had it complete together, I'm like, oh my God, I want that fabric line. Because it just was so bright and yummy and pretty. And even though there's brown sitting in the middle of all this, it just, and I'm having fun. I'm being creative using these browns and greens with all of this. It's coming along quite well, in my opinion.
Yeah, she comes up with some really neat stuff.
Yeah, she does.
All right, so Mary says it's 6:30 before for her in Pacific time. Alaska is an hour behind us. Okay, yeah, I thought it was an hour. Like, is it Alaska time zone? They call it. It's got a
Yeah, I don't.
name.
Yeah, I don't know what they call it, but I knew it's behind Pacific time. I just couldn't
Yeah,
remember how far behind Pacific time they were.
yeah, I think it's 1 hours. And Mary, that's what Mary's saying, and she'd know pretty well, I think. So,
Yeah. It's 9:35 here in Florida. It is 12:36 p.m. my time here in Greenland because we're 3 hours ahead of Eastern Standard Time.
oh, hang on, that's not right.
Susan says she loves them.
That's good. Yep, that's working on my next block. Um,
So are you working on a third block?
yeah,
It's a fast sewer and I take too long.
I'm making smaller blocks too. Like, so I made this one
I'm making a big
originally.
one. Yeah, I started mine from scratch as far as I didn't pre-sew anything.
Okay, so can you repeat that, please, Amanda? You're only slower if you're comparing yourself to others, and the comparison is the thief of joy. This is the words of wisdom from Amanda. She's come down to join us a little bit. So,
Hi,
um,
Amanda. You know, I would have her on my Tuesday live if
yes,
I thought she would come and
yeah,
let me interview her since she's a knitter.
yeah. Well, we can discuss that at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't knit, but hey, it's still a similar fiber art, so
Yep.
using yarn. Here in Greenland, knitting is the big thing here.
Oh,
There's
really? Okay.
Yeah, knitting is a big deal here. There's not very many of us crocheters. Just sometimes I feel like the knitters here in Greenland are a little bit snobby because they don't want to include us crocheters in their events.
Oh, okay.
They
Well, that's
do
sad.
when they do a knitting show. They were doing a big show on one summer where people could bring all their knitting stuff and show. It was like a fair kind of like. And I went up there and I said, "Can I show some of my crochet?" "Nope, you have to share knitting." And I thought that was the most snobbish thing to say.
Hmm, that's interesting. I mean, I guess different places, different cultures are different. You know, like I've always noticed here, like knitters and crocheters will craft together and have a good time. I mean, it's, do you want to knit with two needles or one hook? It doesn't really matter. They just enjoy each other's company. So it's, yeah, maybe that's just something that's localized to your area. Hopefully, it's just your area.
I do know that there's a young woman, she might be around, she might be a little bit younger than me, but not by much. Um, she's opened herself up a yarn shop. So I thought I'd go and have a little talk because we've conversed back and forth a little bit anyway. Thought I'd
Yeah,
go have a talk with her, and maybe between her and some of the other people in town, maybe we can figure out how to start a club because we need to have a fiber or an art club where anybody who does whatever, we
yeah.
can all, I can drag my sewing machine down there, or I can come down there with my crocheting, and we can just do something together, And this
I
is
think that
fun.
sounds good for you.
Yeah, because I would love to be able to go and socialize in a
Yeah.
group doing something. And even if the language barrier is a little bit of a barrier, you're still doing the same thing. You're making something.
Oh, definitely. No, I think you should go pursue that. I think that'll do you the world of good.
Goodness gracious. Um, Around to it says, not me, Katie. I am in Canada since my last video. Lost my sister, nephew, brother, three family pets, waiting for cataract surgery, torn tendons over, and heart issues.
Oh,
Ow.
wow.
Gosh, that's a lot. Chris says, nope. Some of the knitters in my area are the same way.
Oh,
So it's not just my area that there's snobbish going on.
hmm. Yeah, I never know because I've been around a lot of knitters and crocheters and they've all just been one big happy family.
So here's another cultural difference. As a gardener, my whole life, I would come home all the time with plants, cuttings. It didn't matter, and all these people who would give me things from age 11 all the way well into my adulthood. One thing they would say is, "Don't thank me because it's taboo," and because your plant might die if you do that. Of course, I'm not superstitious, but anyway, I was raised to say thank you. But
Yeah,
anyway, if you needed help with something or you didn't have you were doing something wrong and you couldn't figure out what you were doing wrong, and you could talk to any fellow gardener and they could help you figure out what you did, where you went wrong. Over here, there's gardeners here, but none of them really socialize with one another
hmm.
or give each other cuttings and stuff. And I think that's interesting.
No, it is interesting. All right, I'm just making sure I'm doing this right. I mean, I'm making up the pattern so I can kind of do whatever I want, right?
Yep, that's right. You do what you want to do.
All right, go ahead and
So
press
is
the.
Amanda a prolific knitter or is she just a little bit?
Yeah, she does a lot of, I mean, a decent amount of knitting, I would say. I mean, she does mostly socks these days. I love her socks.
I want someone to make me a long button down the front cardigan, my size,
Right.
from uh, cashmere. And yes, I know that's going to be the most costliest sweater ever. But if I could find a knitter that can make a cardigan my size, I would pay them money to do it
Yeah. I was gonna say
because
yeah, you're not wrong about it's going to be expensive.
it's like $50 a skein for cashmere, but it's the most, next to muskox, it's the softest thing on the planet.
Yeah. It wouldn't just be the cost that would be expensive, it would be the labor because it'd take a very, very long time to
Yep. Yep.
make a sweater. So if you can crochet one, that might be
I haven't found a pattern for a cardigan for my size. It's really, uh-oh, no, please tell me I didn't just do this wrong. Boy, me and half square triangles are having issues today.
Have you been on Ravelry? That's where they put a lot of patterns. You might find something there.
Maybe. I mean, I found a sort of a cardigan that I actually bought, but it's a short sleeve one. But now I want one that's because I got where parkas are too hot. And we've gone from the heavy parka to the lighter parka, and I'm still sweating in parkas,
Mm-hmm.
which means it's just too warm here for that style of parka. And I figured maybe if I could switch over to a cashmere cardigan
Yeah.
that buttons down the front, because I don't want a pullover. I stopped wearing pullover sweaters a long time ago. I prefer button down the front these days. That way I can undo it if I get hot. And I think if I could get one made, it'll keep me warm enough without even having to use a parka.
Okay.
Because cashmere is super duper warm but soft at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's not extraordinarily heavy either.
Well, that's good. Yeah, a lot of those animal fibers are very warm and like I remember wool they were saying when we were at the wool mill in Australia that it absorbs what was it, twice as much water as cotton does?
Yes, it does. The problem with wool is it makes me itch.
Yeah, so that was something else interesting we found out while we were at this wool mill. The itchiness is usually not because you're allergic to the wool itself. It's the chemicals that they process it in to remove all the like grass and dirt and everything
Yeah,
else.
yeah, it's
So
something
it's
about it. I don't call it an allergy because I just think that my skin just happens. I don't break out in a rash or nothing. It feels scratchy to me. That's what bugs me about it. And
yeah.
otherwise, uh, let's make sure we turn this the right way this time. There we go.
Oh, did I
And
show you this? Or did I just like imagine it and just
oh, that looks good, Sean.
yeah, it's just super scrappy. I just kind of turned the triangles different ways and I used the coral and the hang on, it's supposed to be this way because the tigers and the fish are actually facing a certain direction. I think I just used those three colors together just to see how it
Yeah,
looked.
looks really good. Chris says
Uh,
you didn't do it wrong. And then Lori says, "Are you two going to QuiltCon next year?" I I can't speak for Sean, but I won't get to the United States until March, so I will be missing out on QuiltCon.
yeah, I plan to go. I plan to be there on the I'm planning to be there on the Saturday.
The reason
Whichever.
I can't get to QuiltCon is because I don't have someone to sit my dog. And the only reason I'm going to get to come to the United States in March is because Nikolai said that I could go and he would stay and take care of Nord when he gets off the boat.
There you go.
So, and because I have things I have to deal with, my driver's license needs renewing in March. And because Florida has this stupid new law, you must now have a real ID. So that has to be done in purpose, even in person. Sorry. So, and I don't want to pay a late fee by letting it expire,
Yeah.
So I'm going to go right before my birthday, get my license renewed, and then I need to do something at the Social Security office that's past due I'm doing because my age group sits underneath is grandfathered in as that retirement thing where I can get my Social Security at a certain time sooner than most people because I was born in 1962, right before they started changing the laws about when retirement could happen. But I don't know. I'm debating on whether I want to go ahead and let them start it when we were grandfathered in, or if I want to postpone it a little bit longer.
Right. Yeah, I've got a while before I get to that point, so I don't have to worry about it too much.
Well, I turned 64 in March. I cannot believe that. 2 years away from another milestone. Get past when my mother passed away, because that would be my other milestone. Because my dad died at
Hmm.
56. My mother was 66 when we lost her. And my mom come from a family of long living people. Her mother and father lived to be 94, I think.
Right.
But mom had a very rare brain cancer
Mm,
and that's what took her out early.
that's sad.
Yeah. Around to us says, I've watched everyone's videos, haven't commented. Someone may ask, how are you doing? Don't want to lie and say I'm fine.
No, I
No,
totally understand.
telling the truth is the best thing. I'm just sorry you're going through all of that. That really is, that has to be hard for you. And I wish there's something we could do to help you. All I can
Yep.
do is send big hugs and prayers for you and your family.
Yep, you just take your time and grieve, and if you need to chat to someone, there's
We're
always someone
here.
out here for you, but if you just want to, just watch and, do it that way, that's totally understandable.
But my channel door will always be open to anyone that needs to talk when they're having difficulties.
Yep.
We'll always be there for you. Um, Susan says, my sister had a neighbor who had alpacas and spun their hair for her to knit with. It was a sad day when she picked up and moved away. The lady with the alpacas, that is. And then Donnelly says, alpacas are good, so great. We have a lot of the farms here to who raise them. Yeah, I'm wondering about the wool with them, if they're
Oh, they're
soft for my skin or
it's
not.
soft, it's fantastic. It's really good for socks. I love
Well,
alpaca socks.
I'll have to get a pair of alpaca socks and see if my skin reacts to them or not.
It doesn't, I didn't get the itchiness like I did with wool. It was very soft. It's very warm. I'm a
Okay.
huge, yeah. I've had a couple of pairs of alpaca socks. I've had them for about 10 years, and I'll have to replace them soon because they're starting to get holes in them because I've worn them so many times. But yeah, I am a big fan of alpaca socks, and we'll hopefully get some new ones soon.
Nifty says, wow, that is amazing. This is a great channel. Listeners are not very common. So someone asked me, we were talking about this yesterday in my live, and someone says, I never thought to ask you if you have any rules for your channel. The only rule I have is to be nice.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't be nice, leave.
Yeah.
It's okay to have this, as far as I'm concerned, it's okay to have discourse. It's okay if you don't agree with someone. And if you're having a disagreement on a subject, it's okay. Just don't be mean to each other
Oh, for
because
sure. Yeah.
I'm not going to put up with that but I'm not going to censor you talking either because, sometimes, you know, um, I'm over here where I am, and sometimes the weight of the world is hard for everyone, including me. Our world has changed a lot in the last 10 years. And sometimes people just need to talk, to get it out.
Oh, definitely.
And we don't want, and I'm not saying we're talking about politics or anything like that, but politics drives a lot of what's going on in our world right now. And
Yeah.
someone might be just having a generalized bad day, or they're fearful about something. And it's kind of like, if they need to talk about it, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Why are you scared? And we're here for you, and we'll try to be as supportive if we can. If it's nothing but saying we're sending you a hug, or we're sending prayers your way or good thoughts, we're there for you.
Yep. So there you go. Good morning, Miss Pat. It's good to see you.
Susan says there's a farm here that has a field full of llamas. They have another with alpacas and another with horses. Wow, they have lots of hay burning animals.
Yep.
Because goodness gracious. Hi, Patty. Yeah, hi, Pat. Good to see you. For those that don't know this, once a month, which our next one's going to be December. Where's my calendar? Our next mental health live will be December the 21st. It's called Peace of Mind Mending Pieces. That's the name of the once a month that we do. And there we talk about mental health and stuff like that, and tools that we can use, and how our mental health helps us, how crafting helps our mental health. We talk a lot, and my friend Myra, who does this with Dana, not
Danny.
Dana, Danny, dadgummit. Me and Danny, it's mine and hers. Give, what do you call it? It's something that Danny's been wanting to do a long time because she doesn't hide her mental health stuff.
Right.
And and mental health has been such a taboo subject for a lot of people. But when we first started the live, we didn't know where it was going to go. We're 8 months in, and it's doing really good. I'm really pleased. And Myra's joined us, and I've known Myra for a really long time, and she has a master's degree in mental health stuff. And so she can share things like tools that you can do to help you through a bad period, different little things. We don't talk about medicine or anything like that because we are not doctors,
Right.
but we can talk about how we can help each other when we're having a bad time.
Yep. And just like knowing someone out there is there to listen is
Yep, definitely.
makes the world a difference. So,
It sure does.
all right, there we go.
It's like when you lose a loved one, how do you handle that? Because I know, well, we have a couple of follower me and well, Laura, I can talk about Laura a little bit. Laura Supp has had a pretty rough time of it, a whole entire year of lots of health issues, and it's put her into she's lost her sojo pretty much, and so we've been helping her with that because she wants to get back to sewing.
Yeah, lovely
And
lady. I like Miss Laura.
she is so sweet. All of y'all are sweet. Donnelly says, sending around all positive vibes to help you along. Yes.
Well, thank you for
And
that.
then around to it says,
That's Shirley.
yeah, she said, that's right. Her name is Shirley. You have no idea how much that means to me knowing someone out there cares. Yes,
Well,
we
that's
do.
good. Well, glad we can help in some small way.
Yes, because sometimes that's all you need is just someone to lean on a little bit.
Yep.
Or it even makes you feel better that someone actually cares.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely. Yeah. It's the little things that make the biggest differences sometimes.
Yep. That's what I love about this community because we can all come together when we need to, and be there for each other when someone's having issues or we just hang about and sew and have a good time. And, you know,
Yep.
I have made some, I'm sure Sean's the same way. We've made so many friends. I didn't expect for this to happen.
Oh, very much so.
I really didn't. And getting to meet people in person has been just so wonderful.
Yeah, I've met quite a few of the viewers, but like at different quilt shows and stuff, and it's been really neat to be able to do that
Yep.
because everybody gets to see my face every week, but I don't get to see yours. So,
Yep.
um,
Exactly.
if you ever see me at a show, please don't hesitate to say hi. Just let me know who you are because I probably don't know, unless I've met you before, and maybe even if I have, I may not remember.
The first
Um,
time I met Sean, I'm like, oh my God, you're so tall.
you know what? I heard that exact phrase about 10 times that day because that was at QuiltCon last year, and everyone kept,
Wow. Because I've never met Eric in person from Treasure Heart Creation.
yeah,
You can tell he's super tall because there's pictures of him standing next to uh Tiffany.
yeah,
And I'm like, my goodness, she looks like a midget, kind of like,
yeah,
and but then when I met you, I'm like, golly, I have to look up at you too.
yep. No, that was funny because I think you were the first one to say it that day. But Jen, yeah, I think
Wow, you're very tall. That came out of my mouth before I even
yeah,
thought about
I think
it.
Laurie said the same thing. Deidre, well, I met a bunch of people that day, and they just like, I guess you don't realize it because you just see me sitting here in the dining room in my sewing
Yeah,
studio, and yeah, I'm 6'5" or like 190 some centimeters. So yeah, Miss Sheila's been I've been blessed to see her face. I got to hang out with her for a while at the Mid Atlantic show this year. I mean, she only lives like 2 towns over, so it was weird that we hadn't caught up before that. But yeah, Miss Sheila's a hoot. I like Sheila.
Sheila says Sean has blessed us. has been blessed to see my face.
Yep.
Yes.
No, she's
We
she's
had
very
a really
nice.
good time that day, didn't we, Sean? I
We
mean,
did. It
we
was
ended up hanging out like in the middle of quilt con, just talking and laughing, and we just it was really fun.
Yeah, it was, and like the social aspect of that quilt show was just phenomenal. It was just, I met so many people that I'd talked to on, on Zoom and everything else for eons, like Donna at Handmade by Ying, Beth at Goody Goods. I mean, I'd met Becca before. I hadn't met Ian before that day. There was, yeah, probably a half dozen, if not more, creators that I had not met in person before.
I finally got to hug him. That was so cool.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen Ian once or twice since, but
Yeah,
that was the fun part about the best part about QuiltCon. I mean, they got some pretty quilts and stuff down there, but I go more for the social aspect.
I got to meet Shonda at the quilt con. I also got to
Okay.
meet um what did she go by?
There
I'll
was
think of her name in a minute, but she was pregnant when she was at quilt con. And
okay.
and oh my gosh, her name's on the tip of my tongue because it's interesting how you say her name. Um it's not, when you look at it, you don't say it the way it's spelled. But she is a designer herself, and my goodness, she's young and beautiful and sweet, and we sat and talked for a while, and I had actually, it's so Katie or something like that. I've interviewed her, so there's a podcast of her. A lot of people I did podcasts with were at QuiltCon. It was so cool.
Yeah, because we did the content creator meetup with the viewers and stuff up on that
Yeah,
third floor that afternoon. I think what was it, like 13 or 14 of us all together?
there was. Yeah, definitely. And
I mean, I know.
Yvette, oh my God, me meeting Yvette was the next best thing to getting
Ah, yeah, she was a
ice
hoot.
cream. She was, and she brought me. She came bearing gifts. She gave me a whole big batik bundle, and I couldn't believe it. I'm like, no, let me pay for it. She's like, nope, it's on the house.
I'm trying to find a picture now of all the people we met. I think I have
And
it
we have
some.
some pictures from that. Yeah, that's on our. I know I have it on my Facebook.
Yeah, because I hung out with Russ from Quilt
Yeah, we
Meets
had
World and
Russ was there.
Larry.
Um,
I spent the day
Larry,
with them.
yeah, Lewayne was there. Which is Larry.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah,
let's
Ian,
see,
Yvette. I don't have the group photo.
Phyllis, Phyllis, not Phyllis, Gladys. Sorry, Gladys was there from, what's the name of her channel? Uh, she's got a long channel name too. She was there. Tiffany was there.
Janice was there.
Denise was there. Yep, got to meet the nut. So I was just loving it.
Tucker. Yeah, it was like all the big stars were there.
Yeah, and they were all, and just all of them except maybe Larry. I had interviewed on a podcast.
Yeah, I think me too. I think I've had just about every one of those folks on my channel at least once upon a time. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, it is 10 o'clock, so I'm just going to finish up this last
We're good.
seam.
It doesn't look like my block is going to get finished before we shut down, but I'm almost there.
Okay, yeah, because I'm going to run away before I fall asleep.
Yeah, but at least you guys, I'm going to put these two pieces together here so you can see what this is going to
Yeah,
look
no,
like.
that's cool. No, that was good. So, I'm looking forward to going back and yeah, if you see me there, please say hi. Let me know who you are because I may not know who you are, by sight. I mean, I'll know, once you tell me what your name is, I'll be like, oh, okay, I know who you are now. But it was interesting going to QuiltCon and meeting everybody, and then I went to the Mid-Atlantic show here in Hampton the following week, and nobody recognized me. It was just kind of like I could fade back into the distance again. So
So you met some new people then, or you
yeah,
didn't see anyone you knew?
I didn't see anybody I knew there that next week. So I was like, okay, which was kind of nice because like, I kind of got, it was weird, like, I kind of got the idea of how a celebrity must feel, like walking down the street and stuff, like being, you know, recognized everywhere. So it was kind of nice being able just to fade into the background for a day
Yeah. Yeah.
the next week, if that makes any sense.
Susan says I enjoyed meeting so many YouTubers at QuiltCon in Phoenix last year. We also met quite a few people that were viewers, like
Yeah.
Shelby was
Yeah,
there.
Shelby was there.
Um,
Um,
I can't think of the other lady's name, but she's a Becca follower. Trying to think of what her name is.
yeah,
She
Lori,
was,
I'm seeing
oh,
Lori,
yeah, it was a
Deidre.
lot.
I know I caught
Yeah,
up with, there's a
Deidre,
few others. I didn't get photos of everybody.
but there was
But
quite a few there because, and then there was Kathleen. You ran into Kathleen,
yes,
and she told you if you see Katie, please tell her I'm looking for her. And when I realized who it was, I'm like, the interesting thing about Kathleen is Kathleen was on a cruise ship.
yes, she
So
told me that.
yeah, and that's how we met and became friends. We didn't meet on my channel. She didn't know about my channel at the time. And she was on a cruise ship, and we had her and her husband and my husband and me, we sat and ate lunch at the cafe, and then we went out and I walked them around and gave them a personal tour, and we talked about all kinds of things. We really had a good time. And there she was at QuiltCon.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
was like,
because
oh, that's amazing. I was so tripped. That was so cool.
she bumped into, she ran into me and she's like, um, yeah, I really want to see Katie. I'm like, well, hang on a second, let me text her real quick, because
Yeah, because I had a phone on me.
yeah, because you'd wandered off somewhere else, and I was like, well, just hold up a second, let me see if I can get a hold of her. And then yeah, you were there like 3 minutes later, so that worked out quite nicely.
Yep. I was up there taking pictures of quilts when you texted me because
Yeah,
I picked it off.
I
I was
got
off taking
I
pictures again.
yeah, because I'd only seen you like I saw you off in the distance like 5 minutes before I saw her. So I told her, I said, she can't be that far away. Like I only saw her 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, I had slipped around the side of the blind where you couldn't see me. I was up at the front where they were doing where the what do you call that? The one that won the whole thing.
Yeah, best in show.
Best in show one. I was up there and I'd
Yeah,
already taken a picture of the best in show, but then there was a wall back behind it that had more of the top ones there too. And I had slipped around the side so you couldn't see me because I was around there taking pictures.
yeah. As an you just wandered off, so I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, we'll catch hold of her. She hasn't gone too far. I know she hasn't gone home or anything. So yeah, that worked out nicely. All right, so this is my next block.
Wow, look at you. You're just trudging along with this, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm doing quite well. I've got 4 blocks done today, so I'm happy with that.
I think I know what I did. This block has got to be torn apart altogether. I turned something the wrong way. That's okay though. I can fix it. Okay, so yep, Sean's gonna have to go. So Sean,
Yeah.
tell them about when you go live. Hang on, I'm gonna spotlight you. And if you want
Okay.
to show all three of those blocks one more time, you are welcome to do
Yeah,
that.
okay. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, so I am, most of you know me already, but anyone that doesn't, I am Sean, the guy who sews. I go live at 8 a.m. on a Saturday morning, so you can start your weekend off with me. I usually have a guest. I try to change my guest around from week to week, so you just never quite know who's going to be there. So sometimes I find more established channels, sometimes I find someone that's new and give them some exposure. It's really neat. And then Sundays at 9 a.m. Eastern, I put out a podcast, which is where I just show off what I've worked on the last week. So if you want to go check out the latest episode, that just dropped about an hour ago, so that'll give you something to watch later on. The blocks I've made, this one here I just finished a moment ago, and then I'm just putting random 9 blocks together right now, just with different layouts, slightly different layouts, different colors. That one looked nice. It's not right down the bottom. I don't think I'm going to change it. I think it looks just fine and dandy. And then this is the bigger one here. So that's what I got up to today.
I almost missed someone that slipped in here. Hey, Fairbricks, it's good to see you. I didn't mean to. And please, if you are a channel creator, before we shut this thing down, type exclamation selfie and share your channel real quick so people can find you.
Yep.
Okay, so yep, Sean's giving you his spiel, so now I'm gonna give you mine.
Yep.
All right. thank you everyone for coming today to this morning to the our once a month collab. We will be getting together again in January to continue on with our Star Climber, and we are going to finalize we are going to finish off Star Climber in February. So
Yep.
be ready to see what me and him have created out of that collab that we spent the last year doing.
Yep.
He's done a little bit of a different approach to his. Mine's going to probably be a wall hanging unless I decide to do something different with mine, but I think that's what I'm going to do with mine. And I did 4-inch. He's doing 6-inch, in case you didn't know that. And so we're going to have you're going to see a different perspective of how we did our collab together. So
Yep.
stay tuned for that. Tuesday, I have my live, once a month live with my crocheting friends, which would be Shonda from Under the Needle, Andy from Crafty Witch 232, Amanda from Scraptastic Crocheter. So also, if there's any of you crocheters that would like to hop on a live with us, you're welcome. Just email me and I can share my email. And also, Sean, when you get a chance, can you take pictures of some of your projects so that I can share them in the trunk show on New
Yeah,
Year's Eve?
absolutely. Yeah, I'll take care of that. And if I forget, remind me because you know how I am. I get distracted very easily.
Yep, yep. All right, everyone. Thank you for coming today. And remember to live, laugh, love, and dream. And what do you do with all of that?
Make
You make
something
something
nice.
beautiful. And I keep forgetting about my poll. And for those of you who did the poll, there's 33 votes. What is the modern equivalent of the word wane? The answer is decrease. And 82% of you voted on the right answer. So thanks
Including
for
me.
doing the poll too. I'm always putting up new words for everybody.
Yep.
All right. See y'all later and have a great day and the rest of your weekend, and hope you have a good week next week coming in. So bye everyone.
Hey, bye guys. Thanks for having us.
All right, let me shut off the live. Oh, where did Quilter channel. I hope everybody has been having a great weekend. Despite we have an echo weather that most of the world is experiencing in the northern hemisphere right now. Hang on a minute, Sean.
Okay.
I can't for what's going